welcome to the SilmFilm script discussion, season 1, episodes 6 and 7 this week. We're getting super ambitious. We're going to try to take on 2 episodes at once. It's going to be awesome. So, let's get started. We basically, good news is we already kind of know where we are in the frame, so we don't have to spend an extra half an hour to 45 minutes working that out. All right. We know we're starting the frame with, coming back from like a break in the day. We're kind of going on into the evening now with more storytelling. Gilrine has made her objections known that this good times, good feeling fairy tale Nessa Tolka's story isn't the way life really is.
Just wait. Don't worry. The Silmarillion will get much sadder.
Don't worry. Yeah, we got this. We're on this. So I feel like we can kind of safely go right into the story. Anything that's going to be said in that initial first couple of minutes, that really kind of is going to get left up to like individual lines in the script, right? Because
we're just establishing a setting of it's coming up from a meal or something to the Hall of Fire, and the people who were there in the last episode are probably more or less still there, with maybe a minor change if, for instance, if Gryffindor wasn't there before.
There's a shift change in the dancing retinue in the background.
Right, exactly. I mean, the elves have started up a different course line.
I hear my wife entering the house. That's awesome.
But there is one thing to do the transition into the story. Are we going to have to let the audience know that significant time has passed in our story? Like, this is many years later, not the next day.
Yeah. I guess we could. Manage that. Hey, sweetie. So I guess we could. How do you think we do that then? Well, we should show growth, like plant growth and stuff like that.
Right. That would be probably an important thing to do, is to make the new scene look significantly different than how we left it, but the lamps are still there.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so the trees have grown up around the lamps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I feel like that will kind of clue everybody in that it's been a while,
Okay. I just want to make sure we had that transition.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, in the last episode, when last we left Almarin, we saw the celebration and whatnot. The question is going to be now what we really need to see after we probably need an establishing shot of Almarin to give us an idea of what's going on and everything. Another kind of everything is awesome shot, one of those again. All right.
Right.
Yeah, because everything is awesome. Even more awesome this time.
Right, because now we have trees, whereas before we just kind of had like meadows.
Mm-hmm. And now there's bright light everywhere. So
right. We actually, I'm sure the lighting people will finally they put some light on this.
Yeah. Right. So what are we going to need to? We're going to need to see Melkor not getting what he wants. All right. We need to see a reason for him to be like everybody's thrilled. But he's not.
Yeah. The primary antagonism in the episode should be between Melkor and Manwë.
Okay.
And it's one-sided. It's Melkor's beef. Manwë doesn't have a problem with Melkor at this juncture.
So how are we gonna how are we gonna get there? Is the question? Is what we're going to? Because we're gonna have a moment where this happens, but we need to kind of lead up to it. We need to
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so the question is going to be how we will do that.
Right. Well, the only subplot I'm aware of happening is the Tulkas Nessa wedding thing, right?
Yeah.
And
So,
the deal with weddings is you usually have someone officiate them, right?
I actually thought about that myself. Yeah.
It's kind of the obvious thing if we're using that subplot to further the overall plot. Because if Tulkas, who's a brand newcomer, he just showed up at the end of the last episode, is like, yes, and Nessa and I have decided that we want to like do this thing publicly and have you all witness it. And Manway, of course, our awesome leader, can, like bless our union or whatever it is you're going to say in a random situation.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's clear that everyone naturally sees Manway in that role, not Melkor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that would be one way of slighting him, like.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I did kind of consider that in my musings on this as I was listening to many, many podcasts and trying to glean as much as I could from them. This episode and the next one are actually also a little pair. This one, not so much. Because we have a lot from the discussion boards and whatnot. But as far as the next one, that's going to be fun. So I want to get this one wrapped up neatly and truck on. So we see Melkor's reaction.
Right. Like I feel there should be some minor things that happen and then make it clear that he's already not terribly happy. And then on top of it, Tulkas and Nessa make their announcement that just confirms for him that everyone missed the point.
Yeah. Okay, so little things like what? Like maybe somebody thanking Aule for his role in the lamps.
Right, because as far as everyone else is concerned, this was a joint effort.
And it was Aule's idea.
It was Aule's idea, so this is Aule's thing as far as everyone else is concerned. And Melkor's like, what? You didn't notice that I made the actual globes that we put all the light in? Like, the important part was me?
Yeah, and now, I mean, we need to definitely show that Melkor's not getting – he's not getting, like, chinced on here either. Like,
right, people are like, yeah, Melkor, that we're so glad that you helped with that.
Yeah, that you helped with that is the key.
Right.
Is the key element. Like somebody should come up to him and say, hey, I just wanted to, know that everybody really appreciated your help on the lamps. Yeah, and he's just be like, help?
Right.
What do you mean help?
Now, if we've established that a really long time has passed, does it make sense that people are still talking about the lamps?
Yeah, that's true. But we how do we not?
Right. I'm trying to balance it.
The only thing that's coming to mind now is some kind of corny, it's now been 1,000 years since Aule came up with this wonderful lamp idea, and we'd like to thank everybody, including Myron and Melkor and I can't think of a way to make that not sound stupid.
Yeah, like how would you do an anniversary when there's no sun and moon to keep time with? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
for immortal beings who have no concept of beginning. That's a tough one, but I feel like that might be something new could have eventually developed with Yavanna's stuff. Like maybe we could have flowers now for the first time, or the trees are doing something they used to do.
Yeah,
like, there could be some new development.
Yes,
and everyone's like, "Wow, Yavanna, your stuff is so cool." And like Melkor is that only happens because of the light,
right? So, yeah,
he's immediately drawing it back to. But remember my cool thing? And I was like, yeah, but look at this new thing that Yavanna did.
Yeah. Well, what if she did it for the wedding?
Oh, okay.
Okay. What if the officiating thing isn't such a big deal? Like, again, it's a celebration that doesn't center around Melkor, so it bothers him, but he's not really, if they asked him to, he'd probably be like, well, I suppose, but the fact that they didn't ask him does bother him. But again, it's a celebration where Nessa and Tulkas are the prime focus anyway.
Right.
Which is why he's got to wreck it.
What an awful guy. But I mean, Melkor, what can you expect?
The dark enemy, yeah, that's it. Absolutely. So what we're going to need to do then is okay. So so Tulkas decides that he and Nessa, well, doesn't decide by himself, but Tulkas asks Manwë to officiate over this wedding. Melkor is a little bothered by it. Everybody's excited, getting ready for this wedding, and Melkor's kind of left out of it. And he's seeing these preparations going on, and nobody's really paying any attention to him. And then finally, the last straw comes in when Yavanna comes in and says, "Look at these wonderful things that that we've been able to make because of the light." And the last straw is when somebody turns to Melkor and is like, "Hey, I really wanted to thank you for your help on those lamps. It's a really good idea all I had, isn't it?"
Right.
And that just rankles in him so bad.
Okay, so it's throughout the preparations, it's one little tiny thing after another.
Yeah.
And that would be the final straw. And we just see the way he reacts to the word help.
Yes.
And then it's clear what the issue is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I think that's enough build-up to establish what the problem is.
Absolutely. Okay, so
it's like 10 minutes in at most. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to plan a wedding, but 10 minutes sounds reasonable. Sorry, I had to.
So the next scene that we have then is Melkor's rant to the Proto-Balrogs.
Yes, and this is a key.
Yeah. And one thing that I think is going to be important, because I really do feel that we need to show that he wants the lamps gone.
Yes.
Okay. But since we're using Arian as a witness to kind of take the heat off of him, she can't know.
It has to be subtle.
Right. So at some point, he's got to turn to Gothmog and say something to the effect, and like look him right in the eye and be like, "I wish I'd never helped them make those stupid lamps," something to that effect. And Gothmog's like,
"Got it."
Yes.
Is this how your Valars are going to talk?
No, that's not how the Valar are actually going to talk.
Yeah, we're not doing any script writing right now. This
is an outline, not the actual script.
Although I think our script would be hilarious.
Okay. I believe in our ability to come together and put together words that aren't going to sound stupid.
Or at least less stupid. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for this speech, what should be the key points in it that Melkor makes, other than like he's obviously angry?
Yeah. Okay. So what do we need him to say? We need him. The focus has got to be, and he wants to kind of put it on them too. Like it was us. We did this. We were the ones who created it because we went through the whole, the creating the metal to build the pillar, right?
Right. So he immediately ropes them all in.
Yeah.
So they should just share in his outrage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of reminiscent of the scene where Scar arouses the hyenas from the Lion King.
Yes.
It's kind of that thing where yes, he's mad because he feels like he's been pushed to the side, but he makes it about them when he's talking to them.
Right. He's
like
clever enough to do that.
You have been shortchanged. Nobody's seeing your
contribution to your effort.
Right, exactly. They wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
Right.
Okay.
So ropes them in. He establishes there's been way too much disrespect in this whole place. No one's acknowledged what they have done.
Right.
He means him, but he says that us. It's kind of okay. And then, how does he make the transition to the have to fix this? Because I mean, it came up multiple times. The martyrdom of Thomas à Becket of who will rid me of this troublesome priest.
Right. Yes. Yes.
When the king says that, the knights are like, "Got it. We will go kill him for you."
Right.
But that's really blatant. Who will rid me of this troublesome lamp is like, who's going to go knock it down?
Yeah.
And he can't say that in front of Arian.
Right. So I think that it's going to be it's going to be based on that moment with Gothmog. Because Gothmog is going to be the one to kind of get everybody in and be like, well, if he's going to be the one that says, well, if nobody's going to recognize what our contribution and and Lord Melkor, and he's going to use the word Lord. It'll probably be the first time that anybody uses the word Lord. He's going to say, and Lord Melkor's brilliant, bright light idea. If nobody's going to recognize then we're going to have to show them. We're going to have to show them what it's like without them. If we didn't help them.
Okay.
Now, it was brought up at one point that Arian tried to warn the other Valar about the impending destruction of the lamps. I don't like that, and I'll tell you why. I feel that already we're going to have a hard time showing these nearly omnipotent beings getting their houses and stuff devastated by liquid fire. Like they're all there. They couldn't do anything about it, especially if they knew if there was any inkling that it could happen.
Yeah. Yeah. The one suggestion would be that she would try to come and warn them, but arrive too late. So like she shows up and the lamps come tumbling down like when she enters, or even that she's running in to warn them and it's already happened. Right. So if anything, her statement, because she's supposed to be the one Melkor points the finger at, so it should be clear that she could have done it herself.
Sorry. Very important domestic matter. I don't know. So anyway. So, yeah, because, I would like to see, because there's two action-y scene opportunities here. One is, maybe she at least she tries to physically stop them first. Maybe she doesn't want to get them in trouble until...
But she tries to stop them.
But she tries to stop them.
We shouldn't... Yeah.
What's that?
I said, we shouldn't do this. Right.
She tries to physically stop them. Maybe she gets into it, while the other Balrogs are melting them. Are melting the metal pillars to knock the whole thing down. She's in the middle of getting into it with Gothmog trying to stop him, and she's unable to. Maybe she doesn't catch it. Like she sees them starting to come down, and she takes off. Gothmog turns around, and this wave of liquid fire is coming down at him. Which is how the Balrogs wind up. Balrog.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have to figure out, well, maybe not exactly, but sort of what causes the transformation.
Yeah.
And the goal was to make it be a direct consequence of their fall. So they have to have already decided to carry out this activity, but maybe even they have to have already started knocking down the lane.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that we can get a lot out of